Great leadership requires great manipulation. It's a strong statement, but listen on and you will find out why it's true and how to manipulate as a leader. Ciao amici! Leadership is getting things done with people and through people. And the most you can get from people is when they're willing to die. Makes sense, right? So now the question is, how do you make people willing to die? Well, it's rarely by encouraging them to think things over, because if they do, they will realize that dying is not good for them. More often, to make people want to die, you need some next level manipulation. And that's where we enter into the realm of great leadership, or if you want to call it maybe more appropriately, extreme leadership and manipulation. Number 1, pick targets that are easy to manipulate. For military pursuit, like in this example, it's men and especially young men. They are the easiest to manipulate. Women are more practical, and in this sense, they are more manipulation resistant. Men, instead, they come ready equipped with many of the hooks that make manipulation easy, such as belonging, idealism, fervor, a tendency for in-group and out-group, a lot of testosterone that make them ready and willing to fight, the need to prove themselves, etc., etc. I know that well because I could, and I can still see these dynamics in myself. I can still see these hooks in myself. But as we like to say on the power moves, knowing your weaknesses is the very first of your strengths. Number 2, create in-groups, out-groups. Make the in-group, the us, as right and as good as possible, of course, and make the out-group, the others, as wrong and as evil as possible. Jocko Willink in his books often talks about fighting evil, bad guys, cleaning the streets, etc., etc. Jocko Willink talks about the dichotomies of leadership in his book, and he lists a few of them, and they're all great. However, I feel that the most important one is missing, and the most important dichotomy is the black and white juxtaposition of good and evil. And this is especially crucial when you want to go to the extreme and when you want people to do the most extreme things. Number 3, make them believe they are giving value and doing something good for society and for a larger cause. Fighting evil in that regard is perfect. It almost automatically makes you good. Number 3, make them believe they are giving value and that they are doing something good for society or for a larger cause. Fighting evil, for example, is perfect in that regard because it automatically makes you good. Once you're fighting evil, you can also call yourself king of the motherfucker, baddest guy on earth or whatever. As long as you are still fighting for the good, it's welcome to be bad. You're still on the good side. As a matter of fact, when you're on the good side, the better you are, the better it is, especially in the military. In the case of Iraq, to make people feel like they were doing something good, we also had exporting democracy, defending freedom, and Jocko, and we can expect probably all the other leaders, they also talked about protecting the poor locals. Society at large also sometimes reinforces the frame of military personnel doing something good for the world with the now famous "thank you for your service." And of course, how could you live without the 10% McDonald's and KFC discounts? Number 4, make them feel like they are getting value from you, from the group, from the mission, ideally from all the 3 of them. Of course, the value that you're giving must be in the forms of ethereal ideals, feelings, emotion, belonging, because you are not providing anything practical. You cannot make it about anything practical. The higher level manipulation are almost never based on pragmatic, practical and tangible exchanges of benefits. It's a no-no when you're asking somebody to risk their own life, because when you have them focused on practical exchanges, what can you give them that can make up for their lives? And as well, the other issue is that anything you could give become too costly compared to the risk. So don't have people thinking about practical exchanges, but give them higher ideals and feelings and emotions. Of course, these are men, so you're not gonna talk them about emotions, but in truth, that's exactly what you're giving. Talking about belonging, number 5, provide a strong sense of belonging. This one starts at the national level with patriotism, swearing allegiance to the flag, associating that flag with good and positive value, and then putting that fucking flag anywhere you can. And then you take it to the next level once they join the team. Give them same uniform, same food, same barracks, all under the same flag. Let them rescue each other. And of course, call the other recruits brothers in arms. People always are more willing to die when it's about their family. So anytime you can push this narrative, this feeling of being in a family, that's golden. And it's not a coincidence that it's also so popular in the mafia organization that calls itself La Familia, or the family. And of course, you're the leader of the family, you're the patriarch, the big dad who watches from above and, God forbid, in the battlefield. Number 6, provide higher ideals to aspire and to move towards to, and make those ideals difficult to reach so that people have to prove themselves and they feel like when they get it, they really achieved something. What ideals are we talking about? Pride, courage, bravery, honor, the brotherhood of this storied fighting unit where people risk their lives to protect each other. Those are the kind of ideals you want people to aspire to. Those are going to serve the leader and the mission the most. And of course, the final level, which is hero. Show courage and honor on the battlefield and you can become a hero. If you're lucky enough, you get a medal to symbolize that you lived those ideals. Napoleon once said, "A soldier would fight long and hard for a piece of colored ribbon." The piece of colored ribbon, of course, is another emotional reward. It's useless from a practical and pragmatic value, but it says you have been good and you can feel good about yourself. And it also provides some social proof. You can show them medal and people will give you respect, love, and approval. Number 7, provide meaning through eternity and legacy. A deep drive of many driven men is that of legacy, and we could call it an appeal to eternity. So when Jocko talks about casualties, he often refers to fallen heroes. Think about that. A hero, it's not a person, it's an ideal that lives on forever. And if you fall a hero, you are forever a hero. And think about how to reach this status as well. You don't need to build $1 billion company. You don't need to help 1 billion people. You don't need to do much good for society. You don't need to even raise a family and children. All you gotta do is be brave, die for the mission, and you're forever a hero. Also, if you think about the names of fatherland and motherland, they also serve the main purpose. Die for this abstraction, and you will live forever with it. The ethos of the empire is another tool to reach eternity. For Mussolini, it was the Roman Empire and the past gladiators. Their memories that had to be resumed and restored by rebuilding the empire once again. You be part of building the empire, and you become part of the legacy, which will stay on forever, and future generation will honor you forever. For the US, the ethos of the empire is not as obvious as it was for fascism or Nazism, but it's still there. Think, for example, of the superpower, the only superpower left. Before it was the Romans, then it was the English. Now it's up to the Americans to carry that banner forward, to ensure that the world is a good and democratic place. Also think about the forefathers and all the eternal ideas connected to them. Democracy, freedom, and of course, you need to fight to defend those ideals sometimes. Anyway, I hope this was helpful, guys. If you're interested in the quickest path to learn about manipulation, leadership, power dynamics, how to acquire power and status, then there is nothing better in the market than Power University. And neither me nor the Power Moves community has found anything that even comes close to Power University on the market. This is what one of them says, and by the way, many of these reviews are public. It works. In a few weeks, I have increased my social intelligence by many-fold. ThePowerMoves.com Power University. That course is genuinely amazing, despite it seems like a 12 years old wrote the advertising for it. Alright, I take the feedback. I have an elite background, first class education, and yet I never had a clue about any of this stuff. This material is so powerful that I can't help but feel angry that I have been kept in the dark for so long. See you next time, guys. A big hug from my side. Ciao ciao, arrivederci. Bye.